The taste of expensive champagne turns to ash as Daniel's words cut through the noise. And this is my wife Riley, Stanford graduate, managing her family's medical practice in Vermont. A ringing fills my ears. The crystal flute trembles in my grip. Across the hall, my sister's eyes lock with mine for the first time in 11 years, widening in shock, then narrowing with calculation. Her carefully constructed fantasy begins to unravel. My name is Olivia. I'm 32 and a medical technology CEO. This is the story of how I turned 11 years of lies into the foundation of my success. Mother's face drains of color. Father moves protectively toward Riley, creating a barrier between us. My husband Peter's hand finds my back, a silent anchor. Our 6-year-old son Nathan fidgets with his bow tie, oblivious. "What are you doing here?" Mother hisses. The familiar shame rises. For a heartbeat, I'm 21 again, standing in the rain with a suitcase, homeless. My father's words echoing. "If you're too ungrateful to help at the clinic, don't come back." But that frightened girl is gone. In her place stands a woman who built something from nothing. My wife is a guest. Peter steps forward. She's the CEO of NeuroCare. We were invited by the groom. Dr. Chen introduced us last month at the Boston Medical Symposium. The name NeuroCare ripples through the nearby medical professionals. I hear whispers, see recognition. CEO? That's Olivia Wallace. Daniel approaches, confused. "You know the CEO of NeuroCare?" He turns to me with interest. "We've been trying to partner with them. Your monitoring system is revolutionizing post-surgical care." "Thanks," I attempt to smile. Mother and father exchange panicked glances. The whispers grow louder. I could make a scene. I could expose 11 years of lies. I could tell Daniel how they told everyone I'd failed out of college while pocketing my tuition money for Riley. Instead, I simply say, period. "Hello, Riley, congratulations." Riley flinches as if I'd shouted. Nathan looks up. "Mom, is that lady in the white dress your friend?" Daniel looks between Riley and me, his bride and the stranger who isn't a stranger. "Riley?" His voice carries confusion. "I thought you said your sister was..." Riley's eyes dart frantically between her husband and parents. For the first time, I watch her struggle for words. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately regretted it? The smart move would be to grab my family and leave. Let Riley have her day. But sometimes regret is just fear wearing a mask, and I stopped being afraid long ago. I watch my sister nod as she's introduced to doctors. Her earrings catch the light when she tilts her head, our tell when she's stretching the truth. "The Wallace Clinic has been serving our community for 30 years, she says. "We specialize in family medicine with geriatric care." Peter touches my elbow. A silver-haired woman reads my badge, NeuroCare. Her eyes widen. "You're Olivia Wallace? Your presentation at the medical summit was brilliant. Your patient monitoring system is changing recovery protocols across 3 states. 4, actually. We just finalized with Northwestern's network." Across the room, Riley fumbles through a response about platelet therapy. The doctor exchanges a glance with his colleague. I thought Stanford's program had shifted away from that approach years ago. Riley's laugh floats too high. "Well, some professors hold on to traditional methodologies." Daniel's expression shifts, tightening around the eyes, withdrawing his arm from her waist. He's noticing the discrepancy. "Olivia." My father's voice commanding as ever. "You need to leave. You're ruining Riley's day." "I was invited by Daniel," I reply firmly. "Perhaps you should explain why that upsets you." Father's face reddens. "Don't play innocent. You showing up, flaunting your whatever company, NeuroCare is hardly a claim, Victor." Peter steps forward. "The medical conference featured your daughter as keynote speaker. Her systems are in 27 hospitals nationwide." Across the room, Mother hovers near Riley, desperately trying to steer Daniel's colleagues away from me. Nathan tugs at my hand. "Mom, can I have cake now?" Nathan looks at Riley. "Is that lady your sister?" Does she go to Stanford like you did? My father's face drains of color. Nathan continues innocently, "You showed me your old college pictures. The red buildings were pretty." "Stanford?" Daniel says. "You went to Stanford too, Olivia?" "Class of 2014, I answer. Daniel's colleague turns to him. "You didn't mention your wife's sister was Olivia Wallace. Her work on predictive algorithms is revolutionary. Northwestern reduced readmission rates by 22% using her systems." The weight of lies settles on Riley's shoulders. She reaches for Daniel's arm, but he steps away, his attention now on the conversation around me. I remember staring at my bank statement, my college fund depleted, transferred to an account I didn't recognize. The same day, Riley sent photos from her spring break in Cancun. Daniel has pulled Riley aside, their heated whispers visible. "You told me you graduated from Stanford," he says. "I went there. I've never heard your name mentioned by faculty." It was mostly remote learning, a special program. Stanford Medicine doesn't offer remote degrees, never has. Color drains from Riley's face. Daniel steps back from her, straightens his tie, and walks across the ballroom, directly toward me. Daniel guides me to a quieter alcove. "I apologize for the awkwardness," he begins. "You didn't know Riley had a sister," I finish. "She mentioned a sister once, but said you dropped out of college, that you couldn't handle the pressure and disappeared." "I graduated summa cum laude, while working 3 jobs. 3 jobs? Mornings at a coffee shop, evenings at hospital reception, weekends at a call center. I put myself through school part-time, no family support." "Stanford?" he asks. I shake my head. "Community college first, then State University. I couldn't afford Stanford after my college fund had been reallocated to Riley's education," he concludes. Memories surface. Sleeping on Sarah's couch for months, showering at the YWCA, eating ramen for weeks to save for textbooks. The hospital where I worked reception, that's where I met Peter. He was a resident then. I remember that night, hunched over textbooks during my dinner break, Peter stopping at my desk, curious about my diagrams. "You understand Kellerman's patient flow theory?" he'd asked. "It's flawed," I'd replied. "The bottleneck isn't intake, it's documentation between departments." We talked until my break ended. The next day, he brought coffee and questions about my ideas. Within months, we were developing the prototype that would become NeuroCare's cornerstone product. "And NeuroCare?" Riley mentioned you worked some office job. I can't help smiling. "We started in our apartment 7 years ago. Last quarter's revenue was just under $400 million. Across the room, my parents flank Riley like sentinels. They cast frantic glances our way, whispering urgently. "They're going to try to separate us soon," I say calmly. Peter approaches, phone positioned at his side, a protective measure we've learned after years of navigating hostile environments. "Everything all right?" he asks. On cue, Mother bustles toward us. "Daniel, there's someone from Boston General dying to meet you." Her eyes slide past me as if I'm invisible. Daniel stands his ground. In a moment, Olivia and I are having an important conversation. My mother's smile stiffens. Always the attention seeker, our Olivia. She's always been jealous of her sister's accomplishments. I remain seated, composed. Peter's hand rests on my shoulder. When the bathroom door closes behind me later, I find Riley inside, reapplying mascara with trembling hands. "Why are you doing this to me?" Her voice breaks. "Doing what exactly? I'm simply existing." Riley slams her mascara wand down. "You were supposed to stay gone." For the first time, I see the fear behind her anger, the terror of a house of cards collapsing. "They told everyone you were a dropout," she continues, "that you couldn't handle responsibility. And yet here I am, handling quite a lot." When I emerge, I return to Peter's side. Riley follows minutes later, but something has shattered behind her eyes. I notice the shift in the room. Wedding guests drift toward us, drawn by curiosity. A neurosurgeon discussing innovations with Peter. A hospital administrator slipping me her card. Father approaches. "Daniel." This is Riley's wedding. Let's focus on her accomplishments. The silence that follows fills the room. All eyes flick between Daniel and Victor, then to Riley, whose smile stretches thin. I hand my champagne to a server and check my watch. Peter catches my eye, his slight nod confirming we're on the same wavelength. Are we leaving? Nathan tugs at my hand. Swimming pool time? Yes, buddy. Just one more thing. I'm grateful Peter had the foresight to book us at this hotel when he learned about the wedding venue from Dr. Chen's invitation. I slip a small envelope from my clutch. Inside rests a certificate for NeuroCare stock. Not life-changing money, but a statement. This is who I am now. We're heading out, I tell Daniel, offering the envelope. Congratulations again. He takes it with warmth. Thank you for coming, especially considering... I appreciate the invitation. Closing this chapter matters more than I realized. Daniel leans closer. I'd like to visit NeuroCare sometime, professionally. My assistant will set it up. I offer my business card, aware of Riley watching us. Mother glides toward us. Olivia was always so driven. Of course, she had advantages we couldn't provide, Riley. What advantages were those, Mrs. Wallace? Peter asks innocently. The 3 jobs while putting herself through night school, or sleeping on friends' couches after you took her tuition money. Nathan looks up. Aren't those people your family, Mom? I kneel to his level. They're relatives, buddy. Family is different. Father approaches, puffing up his chest. You can't just waltz back into our lives. I'm not interested in walking back into anything, my voice cuts through. I built my own life, which is exactly what you forced me to do when you showed me the door. Thank you, I tell my parents. Thank you for not giving me a chance. You made me build my own. I take Nathan's hand. Peter falls into step beside us as we make our exit. Unhurried, dignified, complete. In the lobby, Nathan spins with childish delight. Pool time. As we cross toward the elevators, I catch our reflection. A family of 3, solid and connected. Behind us, I glimpse Daniel watching our departure, then turning back to his bride with new questions in his eyes. Some weddings mark beginnings. This one marks an ending. The final release of expectations I never needed to fulfill. Sunlight angles through my office windows a month later. I scan the partnership proposal from Boston Memorial, a contract worth 8 figures. NeuroCare's system reduced post-surgical complications by 37% in their trial run. My assistant's voice crackles. Dr. Daniel Brooks is here to see you. Send him in. Daniel enters like a man carrying weight. His shoulders curl forward, suit jacket wrinkled. Thank you for seeing me without an appointment. Coffee? I offer. He shakes his head. I can't stay long. I wait. Experience has taught me the power of silence. I've consulted with a lawyer about annulment. The words tumble out. Everything Riley told me was fabricated. She never attended Stanford. She's the receptionist. I'm sorry to hear that, I say, and mean it. Your parents made her the face of their practice while they... His voice trails off. The billing practices at their clinic. They've been charging Medicare for procedures never performed. The revelation confirms suspicions I buried years ago. They used my college fund for Riley, I say simply. When I confronted them, they told me I wasn't Stanford material. The irony is, I never wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to improve medical systems. You've done that, Daniel says. NeuroCare is transforming post-surgical care across the country. The clinic is being investigated, he finally says. After our honeymoon, I went through clinic records when Riley struggled with basic medical terminology. I found discrepancies and submitted anonymous information after discovering the extent of the fraud. They've been doing this for nearly 15 years. My phone buzzes with a text from Peter. Picking up Nathan early, Zoo Day. Join us. A warmth spreads through my chest. This is my real family now. What will you do? I ask Daniel. File for annulment, cooperate with investigators, start over. He hesitates. I came to apologize and to ask, do you plan to get involved in the investigation? No. I say finally. I built my life separate from theirs. After Daniel leaves, I stand at my window. My phone vibrates with a voicemail from Riley, the third this week. Peter calls as I'm gathering my things to meet them at the zoo. Daniel Brooks came to see me. The family clinic is under investigation for Medicare fraud. Are you okay? Yes. The answer surprises me with its truth. My computer chimes with an email from the Medicare Fraud Investigation Division, requesting information about my time at Wallace Family Practice. They want me to testify, I tell Peter. What will you do? I'll forward them copies of the clinic's original records from when I worked there. Nothing more, nothing less, just the facts. My phone buzzes again, another voicemail from Riley. I press delete without listening. Nathan wants to see the new tiger cubs, Peter says. Tell him I'm on my way. I gather my bag, pausing at the door. The Boston Memorial contract waits on my desk, another hospital ready to implement the system I built from nothing. I close the door behind me. Some debts can never be repaid, some wounds never fully heal, but moving forward doesn't require forgiveness. Sometimes it just requires letting go. 6 months later, I pinch back another spent bloom in our garden. Nathan races between the raised beds, his Batman cape fluttering. Mom, can I water the tomatoes? Start with the peppers. They're thirsty today. Peter appears with lemonade balanced on a tray. Reinforcements, he calls. His surgeon's hands pass lemonade to our son with exaggerated ceremony. The Davis Hospital Board approved the patient monitoring system, Peter says casually, though we both know what this means. The 5th major hospital chain to adopt NeuroCare's technology. That's number 5, Nathan announces proudly. Mom's helping all the sick people get better faster. The doorbell chimes. Peter returns with a certified letter from Riley Collins Brooks. The envelope sits on my desk for 17 minutes. When I finally open it, a single sheet slides out, covered in Riley's handwriting. Olivia, the clinic closed last month, not because of anything you did, because of everything Mom and Dad did. The investigation found billing irregularities going back 15 years. Daniel left me. He said he couldn't build a life with someone he couldn't trust. He was right. I'm not writing to ask for money. I know better now. I'm writing because I need to tell you that you were never the problem. I was raised to believe your intelligence threatened mine. Your independence undermined my security. I believed them when they said cutting you off was necessary. I was wrong. They were wrong. And I'm sorry. Riley. What will you do? Peter asks. Nothing dramatic, I answer, typing a brief letter and printing a single page. 2 weeks later, at the American Medical Technology Conference, I spot Riley in pale blue scrubs near the Education Pavilion, listening to a speaker discussing medical coding certification. Our eyes meet across the hall. No dramatics, just quiet recognition. She holds the NeuroCare internship application I sent her, clutched like a lifeline. I offer a small nod, not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. She returns it, eyes bright with determination. That evening, I finalized the paperwork for the Wallace First Generation Medical Scholarship. 20 students without family support will receive full tuition and mentorship next fall. Back home, I dig small holes for new seedlings. Nathan helps, his small hands patting soil around tender roots. Some plants don't grow well next to others, I explain. They need their own space to thrive. Like people? He asks, surprisingly perceptive. Smart boy, I whisper, kissing his forehead. Yes, like people. The sun slants golden across our yard. Through the window, I see Peter preparing dinner, moving easily through the space we've created together. I press another seed into the dark earth. Some roots you're given. Others you get to choose.